help mitigate through them, and if they're repetitive or something, he'll take care of that for us. And so if you can do that, and then also just keep your microphones on mute until the end. And so to start us off, it's going to be Jen Palmer. She is head of infotainment and feature planning for FCA. Really fun job. And then right after Jen, Vince Galante is going to present. He's our chief designer for user experience at FCA. So both of these guys are the gurus for Uconnect, and I think you're going to love what you see, because it's already a wonderful system that's super user friendly, and this is going to make it even more customizable than the current generation. So it's going to be exciting. So Jen, go ahead and take it.
Sounds good. Okay, I think Vince is going to share his screen.
Everybody see it?
Yes. We good? Perfect. Hello, everyone. This is great. I'm so happy to meet you all. I am Jen, and my job basically is to lead discussions about what new features we should and should not do for our future vehicles. So Kimberly is absolutely right. My job is super fun. And although I'm busier than ever, in a way it's super simple, because if you go to the next page, you will see why. Why? Because it's really all about the customers. So we're pretty well grounded in that. So we start with a vision of the benefits, especially technologies like connectivity. We think about what we can deliver to our customers from the very beginning, aligning with their ever-changing lifestyle. It's more and more digital and more connected. And look at us today, which is great. So we want to support and align with that. We also want to deliver the most up-to-date information possible. If we think about the real-time traffic and connected search, all that stuff, really important, as well as certain features that we can continuously do over-the-air updates on. Very important. And if you think about connectivity, it also really helps us with improving the quality of our future vehicles, as well as how we connect with our customers. Lastly, connectivity can really help us with a lot of future technology applications. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, okay? The next page. You probably know this super well already. The impact of the technology for our vehicles is becoming more and more important. It has been, and we don't think it's gonna stop. So here are some three good examples, if you will. So technology influence. So the customers said 51% of our customers basically said the technology that they have in their vehicle influenced the buying decision when they bought that vehicle. Even higher number, right? 64% of the customers said having a positive experience with the in-vehicle technology made them want to go back to the same brand. So this is important to us, obviously, that we pay attention to. Even higher number, 78%, almost 80% of customers specifically said a simple to use infotainment system was one of the most important factors when they were looking for a new vehicle. So this is just a snapshot, but I think you already know the fact that it's becoming more and more important. So the next page, we'll talk a little bit about connectivity and how it's helping us. So it does really improve how we connect with our customers. So between the service center customers and the vehicle, if you think about it, because it helps us not only to connect our vehicle, but also to be able to connect with our customers. How do we do that? We use greater analytics and insights that we gain from the connected vehicles, including real-time reports that our customers they can review. So this is actually one of my favorite features currently. Our mobile app, it's the way I use mobile app because I'm not very patient. It's just literally click, a few seconds, I'm done, just like Instagram and everything else. And our vehicle health report, I can literally boom, check. You know, I can see the vehicle health, check before I hit the road with my 3 kids, right? So this is really important. It has to be easy to use on a daily basis. This is absolutely important. Connectivity also helps us with enabling autonomy features. If you think about the higher levels of autonomy, we're going to need more and more of the connectivity and also other future applications. Okay, so the next page is kind of a fun little page here. On the left side, you see 2009, our popular and really cool. This was absolutely the leading edge vehicle and the interior and the technology, everything else on the left side. 2009 full-size truck. Looking at the same truck, really, 10 years after, 2019, if you see the difference and how much space we are taking over with the technology, it's quite impressive. And as you guys know, this has been a really, really good vehicle for us. And personally, I didn't really realize what a great family vehicle our full-size truck is. My husband's been driving a full-size truck for 20, 30 years. And my kids actually love riding in the back seat because of how comfortable it is and how all the new technologies that we have and are implemented in a way that's super easy to use. And my personal favorite feature is actually when I back up, in reverse, I can see the camera view on our large and pretty nice resolution. That's super helpful for me because it improves my visibility. So it's also a safety aspect that's important. It's not just a bigger screen, it has very practical uses. Okay, so the next page basically summarizes where we are. The industry has been transforming. We know one of the reasons why my job has been so interesting and so fun is because things are changing. The technologies are evolving super fast. Everything's changing, right? And our lives are changing. However, what's not changing is the way we approach, how we implement specific technologies into our vehicles. So if you see this picture on the right side, we think of our customer always in the center of everything. So the technology enablers, such as connectivity, mobility, autonomy, electrification, they all become literally enablers to make sure that we are making our customers' lives a little bit easier on a daily basis. And what's unique about our customers are very well informed, but this is really unique and different. What they like is what they like. They know what they like and they're all super unique. So that's why one of the key pillars for our Uconnect 5 has been easy to use personalization. And Vince is going to show you some specific examples of that, and hopefully you'll like it.
Thanks, Jen. So this is Vince, and as the chief designer for our user experience team, I do work in our design office, and that is a really exciting and fun place to be because we're creating the future, and we are typically several years ahead of what you actually see on the road. At the same time, those four pillars that Jen mentioned on the last slide are really changing the way that we think about and that we design our vehicles, to the point that when we started working on this all new Uconnect 5 system, we actually had to grow and change the composition of our design team. So back just several years ago, there was less than 10 designers in the studio, and now there's right around 30. And in the past, and it wasn't just about the number of people, but in the past, we'd always typically hired transportation or product designers, where now with these new systems, those skill sets are important and we still hire those people, but we're also looking at people that are in the gaming and entertainment industry, that have psychology backgrounds, that might be masters of interaction design or research and testing, and mobile and web, and just such a wide variety of skill sets that it really takes to put all this new technology in our cars and design it in such a way that it's just really simple and easy for the customer to use and understand. So once we did that, with this all new system, we're really proud of the Uconnect system, and the customer feedback that we get from it has been very, very positive. And so we didn't want to just throw it away or blow it up. We really started with what we have and we built upon it, and we made it more powerful, more elegant. We took something that was already easy to use, added some more features to it, and made it even more intuitive. So it wasn't really, what you see here from the left to right is a constant evolution of the system, not so much a start, a complete redesign every time, and we're really proud of that. So when we talk about the new system being more powerful, what that means is the computer behind it is actually 5 times faster, and you will see and feel that when you do get a chance to use the system. As a foundation for it, we're using an Android operating system. In all of our vehicles, you're going to see larger displays that have even more resolution than they do today, making everything on the screen more precise and even easier to read. And with Uconnect 5, every single one of our cars is connected via 4G. So we talk about, as an example, the Android operating system of how we've made this system more powerful. It's a great foundation to start from, as it is a well-established operating system out in the market. At the same time, it's also the most widely developed platform in the world, and so there's such a wide range of features and apps and things that are available, and it continues to grow. And by having the Android operating system in our cars, that will allow us to take those things that people love and be able to integrate them easier and faster into our system. At the same time, one of the most fun things about working for FCA and something I really love is the ability to work on such a wide range of products. I mean, we're a company where one day you're working on the Pacifica minivan, the next day you could be working on a full-size Ram or an Alfa Romeo or a Maserati or a Fiat 500 or a Jeep Wrangler, and there's just such a wide range of personalities. And we've built a system that'll work across all of them efficiently, but at the same time play to their strengths and really emphasize the differentiation that's so important as part of those products. And I'll show you a few examples of how we've done that. When you look at the visual design of the system, what you see on the left is what we have in our vehicles today, that's Uconnect 4, and on the right is Uconnect 5. And I think what you'll immediately notice is the screen is easier to read. It's a much cleaner design, and where we took that from was, if you look at consumer electronics in the things that people are used to in seeing in tablets and smartphones, and it's a much more a much flatter design with more depth, and so knowing that trend, we've gone that way with the Uconnect 5, and what you see that makes that up is solid, simple backgrounds, simple gradients on the buttons, outlines, solid fills, those sorts of things. And one of the nice things about that is that all those elements can be described in computer code in ones and zeros, where in some of our previous systems that each of the buttons would be an individual picture or graphic that the system then has to load. So in addition to being more modern and fresher and cleaner to look at, having the buttons described in that way also helps the system process faster. So again, not only is the computer faster, but the way that we've designed it will help it be more responsive. Speaking of responsive, again, we have such a wide range of products, and the platforms that they sit on, and the way that you sit in the vehicles and interact with them is so much different. So we wanted a system that could flex and stretch multiple different screen sizes and even different aspect ratios. So what you'll see here is a portrait, more of our standard or square, and then a landscape. And with Uconnect 5, we have the ability to use any one of these, and depending on what is the particular need of that vehicle. So whatever screen size works best for that package or for the content that goes in that car, we have a choice that we can choose from. I mentioned that each of our brands we're really proud of the differentiation we're able to achieve with them, and you've seen us do a lot of these really great exterior packages that really describe a wide range of different personalities on each vehicle or within different vehicles. We do the same thing with the color and materials palettes on our interiors, and when we talk about technology and the integration of it into those products, it's no different. So with the Uconnect 5, each of our brands will have a unique look and feel. There'll be a different background, different textures, colors, in some cases content, button style. So you'll really see that in addition to being able to flex across each of our platforms, they can also build up the strength of each of our brands. I mentioned when I talked about the new design, in addition to the more graphic style of it, we did pay close attention to how easy it is to read. And a couple of ways that we do that is we create depth on the screen and hierarchy by taking the things that, it's a bit different in an automotive interface than it would be in designing a tablet because you're driving. So we need to make sure that when you do have to interact with the screen, you can quickly identify those things that you need to, that task you're trying to complete, you can quickly identify and accomplish it quickly. So in order to do that, we take the things that you would use most, like say on a radio screen, the play controls or the song title, and we bring those to the surface by making them larger and brighter. And those things that maybe don't move all the time, that you're more staple elements, like the menu bar at the bottom, we push those to the back and make them a little bit darker color. And what that does is help, when you look over, you can quickly focus on the things, find the thing that you're looking for. In addition to that, we've also developed a new font for Uconnect 5 that's a little bit easier to read. So it adds a little bit more spacing in between each of the letters and numbers. And then on those letters and numbers that are like an 8 or a G or an S that do have negative space, it's actually opened up a little bit. So it's just a little bit easier on the eyes, a little bit easier to read. And then the last piece of it is when you're moving from app to app, like media or navigation or your phone, the way that we've laid out the screens is the same in each of those apps. So similar things that you would be doing will be laid out in similar places. So you're not relearning every time you switch applications in the system. When we talk about ease of use, I think that has been top of the mind from day one. It's really a hallmark of Uconnect is just how easy to use, and we get lots of good feedback on it. And so again, we wanted to pay close attention to it because we do have a wide range of vehicles, and with those come a wide range of customers. Some that like something that's really simple and easy to simple and no fuss, and some that really want to play with it and have that personalization. And I'll show you a few ways that we've taken that into consideration. So the first thing, again, I'll mention again, we started with a good foundation of what we have today, and we've built upon it with Uconnect 5. So at the bottom, that's your category selection. That has been a hallmark of the Uconnect system from the beginning. And that's so where you can easily find from app to app where you want to go. And one of the ways that we've enhanced it is that in this screen is a little Jeep logo in the bottom. Today, if you want to get to PHEV pages or off-road pages or SRT pages, you have to go into the app drawer and find them. With Uconnect 5, we know that people love to use those apps, so we've brought them to the surface. So they'll be right there at the first surface, no more digging to find those things that have been specially made for your vehicle. The status bar, we have that today. It does give you things like the inside and outside temperature and the time. For Uconnect 5, we've enhanced it by making it interactive. So here's one example of the temperature control. So no longer to adjust your temperature or turn on your heated seat do you need to leave, say, navigation that you're doing. You can just push this button at the top, you get an overlay, you quickly do what you need to do, and it goes away without ever having to leave navigation. So one example of where we've taken a really highly used feature and brought it right to the surface with one touch. And then the last piece is this center section. This is really where all the app content is. And one of the ways that we've, even though we've added a lot more content, we've made it easier to navigate. So across the top there in that kind of gray-blue bar, you'll see the subcategories within the app. And you'll have the ability in every single one of these apps to swipe between those. And what's really nice about that is it helps it feel newer, and it really shows off, it gives a really new feel and really shows off the speed of the system. But at the same time, it'll allow you to actually navigate within an app without even looking at the screen. You can just simply reach over, touch anywhere on the screen and pull, and you can go to the next section. So it helps us, again, keep your eyes on the road as you're driving. In the media section, we've enhanced our presets by you'll now have the ability to do mixed presets. So if you like a couple stations from FM, and a station from AM, and a couple stations from SXM, you can easily put all of those in one place. So on the screen, you'd be able to navigate between those all in the same place, or on the left steering wheel button, you can cycle between those. Again, we brought together some frequently used content to make it less steps to actually to accomplish the thing that you wanted to do. Speaking of SiriusXM, we started this on the RAM with the 12-inch today, where you have SiriusXM 360L. Now with Uconnect 5, all of our vehicles will have the ability to have that content. So that'll give you 200 plus channels. It'll give you a seamless music experience, some personalized options and personalized stations custom tailored to you. And then you'll have the choice of either live satellite streaming or on demand through the connection. We've also enhanced our phone section, so you can now have the ability to connect 2 phones simultaneously over Bluetooth and switch between them at will. In addition to that, for those people that like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you'll be able to do that wirelessly now. So just jump in the car, it'll load up automatically, and you never have to take your phone out of your pocket. For our navigation system, we're using a brand new provider through TomTom. So this will give you enhanced maps, more views, better search entering and prediction. It'll give you faster route calculation. It'll also give you the ability to have real-time traffic updates. It'll show you fuel prices, weather, speed cameras. Just a really nice upgrade to our navigation app. We've also a feature that we're really excited about is we now have Amazon Alexa built into the car. And we do have that today in the app drawer, but what we're talking about here with Uconnect 5 is something that is really integrated throughout the system. So you can do some things from outside the car, say from your living room, to have her start your car. You can, in the car, you can ask it what the weather's like. You can do some simple IoT or smart home by open the garage door. But you can also control some of the vehicle functions, and you can tell Alexa to play fun music or navigate to Somerset Mall or do some of those things really naturally that you can experience with Alexa in your home today. And one of the really nice things about this is, as a connected voice system, as Alexa gets more features and becomes smarter, so will Uconnect 5. If you don't have a connection available, you still will have a voice system in the car, and we've upgraded that as well. So we're using a system from Nuance that supporting natural language. We've also integrated this with the navigation system for easy searching and easy routing, and we've upgraded the microphone technology in our car so that it'll hear you even more clearly. The last piece I want to touch on, and Jin mentioned personalization is one of the things that we're really focused on. So if you're thinking about Uconnect 5, think about how much more powerful we've made it. We've continued on to build on how easy the system is to use. And then the last piece that I think we're all really excited about is the amount of personalization we've built into the cars. So that really starts with a good foundation of a user profile. And this will give you the ability to all of the customization I'm going to show you and all of these preferences that you set up. This will actually save it for you on the car. So if you say lend your car to a friend and they mess up all your settings, when you get back in, you can simply select your user profile and it'll take it quickly back to just the way that you had it set up. I mentioned how the status bar is now interactive, and I showed you the example of the temperature controls, but you'll also have these slots at the top. You'll see 3 here on the left and then 1 on the right, the voice icon is, that you'll be able to drag and drop and customize each of those. So in this example, we're showing the Wi-Fi hotspot, the ability to turn that on. But another good example could be if you're somebody that likes to tow and you want first surface, quick access to your cameras, you can simply click and drag the camera up there and have that right at the first touch. The other thing for personalization that we've added in is we know that because it's an Android operating system that the app drawer is just going to fill with tons of great stuff. And so we wanted to make sure that you had the ability to sort and get to the things that you like really quickly. So you'll notice at the top there, again, that's those subcategories I mentioned. You'll have the ability to sort between several different ways of sorting the apps. And we've also color coded each of them. So if the ones that have an outline, those are the ones that are related on the vehicle, and the ones that have the filled background are the ones that you've brought in from outside. And so that'll give you just visually, quickly, easy to see where, what the different apps are. And then if you're somebody like me, I have like maybe 4 or 5 that I like to use. So what I'll do is I'll touch the star, and because we've given you the ability to favorite them. And so if you have, say, 4 or 5 that you've starred, and you can just live on that favorites tab and have those right there at the first surface. Again, just another way that we're giving you the ability to get to things quickly. And then the last piece I want to touch on is the part I'm most excited about. And this is an all new part of the system that we call the home screen. And really the goal of this was to give the customer the ability to create a custom interface that has all the content that they individually like to use. So you can actually create individual pages, and these squares, these boxes that we have on the screen, we call those widgets. And you can create up to 5 of these custom pages, and you can mix and match the content that you like. So me, for instance, driving a prototype vehicle, I had navigation on one card and music on the other. I could swipe over, and I could have my comfort controls, and then a second widget for what we like to call we call shortcuts. In shortcuts, what that'll do is give you 5 boxes that you can mix and match content in. Like you can put navigate to work, call my wife, turn on the heated steering wheel, launch Apple CarPlay. You can put them all in the same place. And so I found myself, once I had it set up the way I like it, that I could live on this page and basically get to everything I need really, really super quickly. And so I think when we think about the Uconnect system, and one of the secrets to it is that we allow you to get to anywhere in the system and to activate any feature or function you might want to within 2 touches. Really the design challenge and the goal here was how can we create an app in the system that'll allow the customer to get to all their favorite stuff in 1 touch. And so that's exactly what the home screen here is. So again, if there's any questions, on the upper right of the screen, if you hover over, you'll see this little speech bubble with the 3 lines in it. If you could just type those into there, and Nick will take us through.
What's up, you guys? All right, so yeah, like Vince just said, you don't even have to type in the question, you just write Q or question, and what I'll just do is call it out as we go through the line. Or if you're shy and you just don't want to talk to anybody, you can type it in there too. We'll get to your question as well. So the first one comes from Jose. Go ahead and jump off mute and let us know what you got.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Jose.
I was writing in, but go ahead. I know for Jim or Vince, everybody's trying to understand what is next. And you are all the day thinking about what is next in usability and the whole experience for the client. Can you tell us, could you share something that is pretty crazy that you're thinking about for the future of the infotainment in the cars?
Do you want me to go? Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I don't. We won't be able to give you like the real specifics, but I would just say that we do a lot of, and Jin's team really leads this, a lot of research and insights and looking into what it is that we think customers are going to want. And I think I mentioned a couple examples in the presentation about the Android operating system and the flexibility that gives us. And I think one of the big trends going forward is going to be personalization. There's so many options out there now, and there's so many things that you can get, and just based on the product range that we have and the global presence that we have a lot of different types of customers. So we want to make sure that, again, the customer comes first. So we want to make sure that they can create for themselves the experience that they're looking for. So I think personalization is going to be that's going to be a big one.
Great. Thanks. Next question comes from Jim. He wants to know, kindly discuss how FCA first became aware that the prospective buyers were including connectivity as a purchase decision and the company's ongoing response to that knowledge. It's probably going to be both of you, huh?
Yeah, I think I can start. That's such a thoughtful question, I have to say. So I'm going to try to answer your question with 3 parts. So the first, what we do is we do look at third-party data because it's completely objective. They don't really care if it's our customers or or not. So it's the industry view. So we constantly monitor and study third-party data. So that's one. It's been showing that globally, actually. And I've been with the company for about 9 years, and it has been gradually increasing. So I personally have watched the trends going up. The second is we have actually our internal group, a whole bunch of professional researchers who would do our own research. So also confirms, and we do take it pretty seriously in terms of why our customers purchase our vehicles, of course. So we look at the data. So those two. And then the third one is actually not directly related to the term connectivity, but when we ask customers about what features do you like, we constantly do the feature desirability side of things, because we want to make sure that we're prioritizing the right thing, and that we want to also make sure that we're supporting what they are already doing. So that's what makes it comfortable for our customers to use. So it's super important. But when they say they like certain features that require connectivity, or that will be enhanced by connectivity, that's also important to us. Like connected search, connected real-time traffic, that's what they're used to. So there's that expectation. So that was a long answer, but hopefully I answered you.
And I think for the company's ongoing responses, I could give you a couple examples. I know that Jin had the really cool slide of the two Rams side by side. And again, like you saw in 2009, I mean, that was state-of-the-art interior, and I think really caused a splash when that truck came out of just how high we had raised the bar on that interior. And then you look just 10 years later at the current truck with the 12-inch screen, and it's light years beyond that, right? And you can see the focus of that whole center stack is that big screen. And we've had really positive responses from our customers and from the media from that. And for that to happen in what is typically a traditional segment, which is trucks, I think is really telling. And so that's one example of how, you know, our commitment to kind of technology. I think the other I mentioned, you know, you saw a few examples of Uconnect 5 and how we're building upon that, but also just the fact that how much we're growing the design team. I mean, if you're seeing that kind of growth in the design team, that means we're thinking and we're making stuff. So I think, you know, that would be our response to it, is that we're adjusting and we're growing and we're building, and I think in a lot of cases, like the truck example, we're really pushing.
It's funny. I think about this all the time, in that you ask somebody of a younger generation than me what kind of phone they have, and they can break into some elaborate conversation. I couldn't tell you if I have an S6 or an S9, if it's Android. I just know it works. But there could be a point in the future where people are buying vehicles just because it has the latest and greatest. Oh, did you get the new Uconnect 5? Oh, that's too bad. You got to get the Uconnect 5. It's something like that. So the next one comes up with the man on the microphone. Joseph, go ahead, fire away, buddy.
You're on mute.
Got to unmute myself. Thank you very much for your presentation. I want to reference that photograph from 2009 till 2019. I thought that was very illuminating. My question is regards to update ability and backwards compatibility. Is that a word in that 2009 truck is still strong enough to tow, good enough to carry around my stuff, I can travel with my family, but I might not want to be in there anymore because the technology is antiquated. I'm feeling like this is a problem of cars and vehicles of that era. We've had this quantum leap of technology. And one, how do we address that? Is there some way to take this new technology and move it backwards into those older vehicles that are certainly very good for what they're doing? Not everyone can update their vehicle as often as they update their phone, number one. And number two, the 2019 version of your vehicle compared to your 2029 version of your vehicle, are we going to expect another leap that is greater, that is almost as great? And how are we going to keep that vehicle that we're buying right now relevant as the technology races forward?
We're going to do rock, scissors.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this.
Always rock.
So we do have over the air updates with Uconnect 5 will be possible. So once that system's in a car, over time it will grow and update. I think as far as going backwards, you will need the new stuff we showed today. You will need the new hardware to make that work.
So are those vehicles, older school vehicles, are they, and I understand where we are, but like I've got an iPhone 4 sitting in the other room and it's garbage. It's like, I'm sure I could call somebody on it, but I wouldn't. It's just garbage, right? It's a little different. So what about all those vehicles? Are they just stuck in the past now that the hardware has evolved beyond where they were, so much so?
I'll break it down for something a little more simple. I just use an example that most of you might be more familiar with. I'm a child of a rotary dial phone, and I'm renovating a house right now, and it actually has phone lines. Some rooms have two, and the bathroom and the garage and everything else, and I will never use those cables. There's actually even the antenna cables that are coming into the house. But to transfer that to a vehicle, that it's a whole different wiring harness to upgrade to a new set of hardware. The amount of changes that we had to make, because everything in the vehicle now routes through that, and the next generation will be even more. So it would almost take a whole nother wiring harness. It's not as simple as just running a cable from my fuse box to my living room. It's an entire harness for a whole new vehicle. So in the future, there might be upgrades that are available, and there might be more connectivity for the phone system or your personal electronics to the head unit itself. But for right now, it's so much change and so fast. You said it yourself.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, Jared, you're up. What you got?
All right, thanks everybody. So I have a couple, but I'll focus on one and maybe circle back to let everybody else answer. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on if Alfa Romeo, I know they were in that little diagram you showed of all the different brands, will transition to this new Uconnect system. I know that when the brand came back to the US, you guys developed a separate infotainment system for that brand that's not used on any of the others. So I'm wondering if you could speak to what the thinking was behind that. And then a side question was, do you think you're going to offer consumers the ability to switch between those themes? I know my Ford Fiesta has like a hidden mode where I can put up Lincoln screens. I'm not supposed to do that, but I think consumers could maybe enjoy that. So I don't know if you're thinking about like customizing colors and things like that.
So I think we haven't announced all the vehicles that this will go on, but I thought I did hear you guys were going to talk soon about the 2020 Alfa Romeo. So you will see in there that we released an upgrade to the infotainment system in that vehicle to include touch. So it'll have touch plus the dial. When you talk about the themes right now, the specification would be is that each of the brands will just get the theme that goes with that car. So I don't know if that there would be a hidden unlock feature, but that's pretty interesting.
All right.
I can turn my Fiesta into a Ford GT, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
All right. Thanks. Next one up, Marcus. What you got?
Yes, hi. Thank you for the excellent presentation. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So I have a question regarding the Uconnect 5 is whether it has like added updates to also the gauge cluster, like interface ergonomics, as well as like heads-up displays and other features that keep eyes on the road.
So we right now we haven't shown anything outside of the radio, but it does have the ability to send information to other places in the car.
Okay, cool.
Nice way around that, Vince. Priya wants to know, how can you compare the SDA digital platform with other brands? If you're talking about, maybe you jump off mute unless Vince or Jen, you understand what she means by that.
the way I read it, do you mean as far as features and power of the system and how it compares to competition? Is that the?
So, Maria, if you want to jump off mute there, well, we can answer that question. But why don't you just talk about how it compares to the different brands within, like the platform changes between brands with their FCA brands.
Oh, she's on mute. She's talking. She's on mute.
Hey, Maria, if you want to unmute yourself, you run your mouse over your face and you'll see a little menu jump up from the bottom. You'll see a little microphone there, and you just click on that microphone. It'll go from red to clear.
I think if Nick, you asked about comparing with across our brands. I think if you look at what we do, we always try to include something that's really special about the way that the driving experience of the car. So we have today SRT pages, PHEV pages, Jeep off-road pages, those sorts of things. So those are good examples of content or things that would be differentiated among brands. So if the Pacifica that we showed in Chicago has a fam cam, I mean, that's something all about the family kind of lifestyle in the car. So within our brands, it won't just be there'll be visual differences, and there may be screen proportional differences, but there will also be content that really plays to the strengths of whatever that particular vehicle is.
All right. But she sent a note saying she doesn't have a microphone. Sorry about that. I hope we answered your question, Maria. Jaime jumps in. How about privacy? This question always comes up. And we all know communication goes both ways. How do we know our private data and information are safe? If anybody wants the details on our privacy policies and what Uconnect collects and such and how we collect it, let me know. There's a whole site dedicated to it. In fact, there's a link dedicated just to California because of some of the rules are a little different there. And I can help you out with that. But really what ends up happening is it's data that we're collecting, not necessarily associated with a name of a person or even a VIN. It's just what a particular vehicle is doing. David comes in. Good point, Jaime. Thanks for multi-layer answer, but you're welcome. Joaquin, in most of your team's current engineering and development work focused on upgrades to current Uconnect 5 or on a next-gen Uconnect 6?
It's
both of you guys, right?
It's definitely both.
Yeah, I would say that we really, we get the question about how long it takes to develop a system, and it's like impossible to answer because we really never stop. We're continually updating and evolving and thinking about new things. So, is the answer yes?
Jen, did you have a follow-up? Are you good?
My answer was it's absolutely both. We're constantly looking at.
One, if something happened with the system, my battery is complete dead, is any way to handle manually all this kind of beautiful system?
I think I got the second. Yeah, I got the second one. Can you rephrase the first question? Unless.
What kind of backup I have in case my battery is dead or something when I connect my new battery, if everything's go to normally or I need to reset everything, for example?
Oh, I don't think I know that answer. We may have to get back to you on that unless one of you guys know. Good question. I don't know the answer. But
what you're asking, just so I can clarify, you're asking, does it save all the profiles and such if the battery goes dead? Is it saved to the whole
everything again?
Do you know the answer to that?
We should confirm with engineering, but there is memory on the system. I'm 98% sure it's saved. It's hard saved to the system, so it should come right back.
I'll get you an answer. I'll get you an answer on that one. Jen, you had some kind of answer about cybersecurity that you wanted to talk about for your second question?
Yeah. This is super important to us, obviously.
Thank you.
And we all have our own aging parents as well as kids who are about to drive. So this is not something that we take it lightly at all. We do have a dedicated team of cybersecurity engineers. So their full-time job is to just focus on, making sure that the cybersecurity is absolutely up to date and the best and the latest.
And
Excellent.
Nacho, your last one was it was about the system. Go ahead, repeat that one. I'm sorry.
Yes, one was the cybernetic hacker, the other one is the setup, and the third one was the, I forget already, if there's any way to, if something happened, to handle manually, or everything need to be digital?
We have redundant controls and some of the most prevalent features. Then you can jump on that one.
Yeah. I mean, things like, so if something happens, anything that would be in the instrument cluster, anything that's critical for driving is protected. We also have redundant controls for, the volume, browse, most of the HVAC. So we do, I think that's something, we only showed you guys screens, things that are like soft controls today, but we do carefully balance the actual tactile controls that we have in the car versus what's on the screen, because we find our customers, and myself included, I think it's really important to still have some buttons and knobs for some of those things, because it's just a better experience.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Nacho.
Yes.
Next up, Jose.